This is how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing, because it's not politically correct. I know where it should have happened. In the bathtub, with Enya playing and salt grains and me loving my woman's self. I know the story. Vaginas are beautiful! And our self-hatred is only the internalized repression of the patriarchal culture. It isn't real. Pussies unite! I know that. Like, if we'd grown up in a culture where fat thighs were beautiful, we'd all be lying on our backs, spending our time thigh expanding, pounding down Krispy Kremes. But we didn't grow up in that culture. I hated my thighs, and I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who had looked at it, and from that moment on wished I hadn't. It made me sick. I pitied anyone who had to go down there. In order to survive, I started picturing something else between my legs. I pictured furniture, cozy futons and light cotton comforters and velvet settees, leopard rugs, or pretty things like silk handkerchiefs and quilted pot holders. I got so accustomed to this that I lost all memory of having a vagina. Whenever a man was inside me, I pictured him inside a mink-lined muffler or a Chinese bowl. Then I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I have ever met. He was thin and tall and wore cocky tan clothes. Bob did not like spicy food or listen to Prince. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. And when it was summer, he spent his time in the shade. He wasn't mean or unavailable. He wasn't self-involved or charismatic. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. And I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up my change on the deli floor. And when his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. So I went to bed with him. But that's when the miracle occurred. It turns out that Bob loves vaginas. He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they felt, the way they smelled, the way they tasted, but most importantly, he loved the way they looked. The first time we had sex, he told me he had to see me. I'm right here. No, you, he said. I have to see you. Well, turn on the lights, I said, thinking he was a weirdo freaking out in the dark. He turned on the light, then he said, okay, I'm ready. Ready to see you. Right here, I wait. I'm right here. Then he began to undress me. What are you doing, Bob? I need to see you, he replied. No need. Just do it. I need to see what you look like. But you've seen a red leather couch before. Bob continued. He would not stop. I wanted to throw up and die. This is awfully intimate, I said. Can't you just do it? No, he said. It's who you are. I need to look. I held my breath. He looked and looked. He got breathy, and his face changed. He didn't look ordinary anymore. He looked like a hungry beast. You're so beautiful, he said. You're elegant and deep and innocent and wild. You saw that there? It was like he read my palm. I saw that, he said, and more, much, much more. He stayed looking for almost an hour, as if he were studying a map, observing the moon, staring into my eyes. But it was my vagina. In the light, I watched him looking at me, and he was so genuinely excited, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get wet and turned on. I began to see myself the way he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious, like a steak or a waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid. He wasn't grossed out. I began to swell and feel proud. I began to love my vagina, and Bob lost himself there. And I was there with him, in my vagina, and we were gone. Thank you.
This is a not-so-happy fact, found in UNICEF's 2005 report, Female Genital Mutilation and Cutting, a statistical report. Female genital mutilation has been inflicted on approximately 130 million girls and young women. In the 28 countries where it's practiced, mostly in Africa, about 3 million young girls a year can expect the knife, or razors, or a glass shard to cut their clitoris or remove it altogether. In a man, it would range from amputation of most of the penis to removing it altogether. Short-term results include tetanus, hemorrhages, cuts in the urethra, bladder, and vaginal walls. Long-term, chronic uterine infection, increased agony and danger during childbirth, and early death.
There has been a horrific war raging in the Congo over minerals for the last 14 years. Nearly 6 million people have died, and hundreds of thousands of women and girls have been raped and sexually tortured. The women of Congo and the Foundation Pansy, with V-Day, have opened City of Joy, a revolutionary leadership community for survivors of violence in the town of Bukavu in eastern Congo. Despite the unthinkable horrors Congolese women have survived, they are devoted, with real power and courage, to carving out a new path towards a peaceful and empowered future. And they are still dancing. This monologue is for them.
It's gone. It's hard to describe what is there. It's not an organ exactly. It's something the doctor made, something he put there when I was asleep. You would not recognize it. It's not a vagina, it's an outcome. It's the mad look in their eyes. It's the way they took turns and never saw me. It's their thrusting and tearing. It's my daughter and husband being forced to watch. It is what they stole from our minds. It is their foul smell down there. It's the blood, the hot plastic, the burning, the burning. There are many of us, thousands mutilated, closed, and cast out. But in the forest, we found each other. At first we could not speak, but the larks would not let us sleep, and the swamp bush willow kept us green, and the wind and the mad rains washed our grief. We are gathering now. We are preparing. You will be surprised what lives here now, underneath brightly colored panes, between our legs. Don't be fooled. Our vaginas know how to prepare. Our vaginas know how to dance. Our vaginas know strategies. Our vaginas have nothing to lose. We are coming soon. Thank you.
My vagina's angry. It is pissed off. My vagina's furious, and it needs to talk. It needs to talk about all this shit. It needs to talk to you. I mean, what's the deal? An army of people out there thinking up ways to torture my poor ass, gentle loving vagina. Spending their days constructing psycho products and nasty ideas to undermine my pussy. Vagina motherfuckers. All this shit they're constantly trying to shove up us, clean us up, stuff us up, make it go away. Well, guess what? My vagina ain't going away. It's pissed off and it's staying right here. Like tampons. What the hell is that? A wad of dry fucking cotton stuffed up there. Why can't they find a way to subtly lubricate the tampon? As soon as my vagina sees it, it goes into shock. It says, forget it. It closes up. You need to work with the vagina, introduce it to things, prepare the way. That's what foreplay's all about. You've got to convince my vagina, seduce my vagina, engage my vagina's trust. You can't do that with a dry wad of fucking cotton. Stop shoving things up me. Stop shoving and stop cleaning it up. My vagina doesn't need to be cleaned up. It smells good already. Don't try to decorate. Don't believe that when he tells you it smells like rose petals when it's supposed to smell like pussy. That's what they're doing. They're trying to clean it up, make it smell like a bathroom spray or a garden. All those douche sprays, floral strawberry rain. I don't want my pussy to smell like rain, all cleaned up like washing a fish after you cooked it. I want to taste the fish. That's why I ordered it. Then there's those exams. Who thought that up? There's got to be a better way to do those exams. Why the scary paper dress that scratches your tits and crunches when you lie down so you feel like a wad of paper that someone threw away? Why the rubber gloves? Why the flashlight all up there like Nancy Drew working against gravity? Why the Nazi steel stirrups? The mean cold duck lips they shove inside you? What's that? My vagina's angry about those visits. It gets defended weeks in advance. It won't go out of the house. And then you get there. Don't you hate that? Relax, scoot down, relax your vagina. Why? So you can shove me cold duck lips inside it. I don't think so. Why can't they find some nice, delicious purple velvet and wrap it around me? Lie me down on some cotton spread, put on some nice friendly pink or blue gloves, and rest my feet in some fur-covered stirrups. Warm up the duck lips, work with my vagina. But no, more tortures. Draw out of fucking cotton, cold duck lips, and thong underwear. Now that's gotta be the worst. Thong underwear. Who thought that up? Moves around all the time, gets stuck in the back of your crusty butt. Vaginas are supposed to be loose and wide, not held together. That's why girdles are so bad. We need to move and spread and talk and talk. Make something like that, something to give them pleasure. But no, of course they won't do that. Hate to see a woman having pleasure, particularly sexual pleasure. I mean, make a nice pair of soft cotton underwear with a French tickler built in. Women would be coming all day long, coming in the supermarket, coming on the subway, coming happy vaginas. People wouldn't be able to stand it, seeing all those energized, not taking no shit, hot, happy vaginas. My vagina could talk. It would talk about itself like me. It would do vagina impressions. It would wear Harry Winston diamonds. No clothing, just there, all draped in diamonds. My vagina helped release a giant baby. It thought it'd be doing more of that. It's not. Now it wants to travel, doesn't want a lot of company. It wants to read and know things and get out more. It wants sex. It loves sex. It wants to go deeper. It's hungry for depth. It wants kindness. It wants change. It wants silence and freedom and gentle kisses and warm liquids and deep touch. It wants chocolate. It wants to scream. It wants to stop being angry. It wants to want. My vagina. My vagina. Well, my vagina, it wants everything.